So every Tuesday on my stream now on, we do something called submission deck thing. I don't know. I don't have a name for it. Again, I'm really terrible at naming things. Regardless, the whole point of the stream is that viewers of mine can submit deck lists that they've created or that they want to see played on the stream, and I play a couple games with them and we fiddle around with it and we have some fun with it. So that was yesterday and we had a good time with it. And there was one deck that I really enjoyed, and it involved Witcher theme and Anna Henrietta. And the deck originally was submitted by Klutz, or for Klutz. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that screen name correctly. So I made a couple adjustments and played with it this morning and had a great time. So I want to share with you the deck list and a little bit of the strategies involved, and you can give it a spin. No name yet. We'll just call it The Witcher Wonderland. So Witcher Wonderland is an Anna Henrietta deck, and you can probably guess as to what the theme is. It's Witchers, lots and lots of Witchers. And this deck has some pretty good early game potential, some good solid bronze presence as long as you've got your cards and your sort of core that you need for the end game. You have a few different avenues to take to win, and it's working out pretty good so far. We had some fun with it. We beat up on a few people. We had some heartbreaking losses. It was all good and grand and delicious and amazing. So here is the deck. We'll go through the card list again as normal, and we'll tell you more or less how it works already. So I have 1 Toussaint Knight Errant, 4 provision cost card. I have 1 times Magni Division. I have 2 times Nausicaa Sergeant. This is essentially the most played 4 provision cost card in all of Nilfgaard. I got 2 recruits, again, 5 provision, 3 with a 6-point ceiling. I have 1 Alba Armored Cavalry. I have Strays of Spala, and I'll tell you why this card's important. I have Nilfgaardian Knight, 1 time. I've got 2 times Alba Pikeman. I have 2 times Viper Witcher. And now we go to the gold category. Now, we have the trio, which is Letho of Gullet plus the 2 supporting Witchers, which is Ox, and we also have Serret. Now, again, we're pretty much loading up on almost every single Witcher that's in the deck, or as many as we can fit. Super important. So those are the best valued ones. I have Eskel Pathfinder, put him on the front row. He gains a point every turn. I have Ciri Dash, which is one of the cornerstones of this deck. And I'll tell you why. Because in round 3, which you will likely have a pretty long go at, you're going to be playing Ciri Dash as a high-level threat, or something that really is going to be taking on a lot of your opponent's attention. I have Evo of Belhaven, another big-time threat that you can have. I've got Geralt of Rivia. Now, this is one where you're thinking, well, why not play Leo? Like, Leo is the same provision, the same effect, the same strength. Why Geralt? Well, Geralt's a Witcher, and that 3 strength can always be boosted by our good friend Vesemir Mentor, who boosts all your Witchers by 1, and we have a lot of them. So your Geralt is now a 4-point card, plus he also adds charges to your Evo. So he's 4, but technically he could be he's a 3 base who can become a 4 with Vesemir and a 6-point top with your Evo on the board. Now we also have Letho Kingslayer, who copies one of your cards. And we have ultimately Damien de la Tour. Damien de la Tour was a late game addition to this. This deck originally had the 3 2-point Witchers for thinning, but I think even in a Witcher themed deck that wants to thin, those 3 were just too much. Even once they were boosted to 3, 9 points for 24 provisions is just not worth it, even with the thinning. Not even close. So Damien de la Tour makes an appearance as well. Now, here's how the deck works. Basically, you have a lot of early game cards that you can play. Your bronzes obviously are the ones that you want to throw down soon, get as much point value as possible, throw down your Alba Pikeman where necessary, put down your Magni Division, your recruits can boost, etc. Oh, I actually forgot one here. Imperial Diviner. Imperial Diviner times 2. You're going to get a lot of stuff locked. You're going to get a lot of your cards locked, and you do not want them to be locked. That's why we have 2 of these. Anyway, so you're going to have a lot of your bronze value coming out, but you're also going to have a lot of cards in your gold category that are not necessarily all that valuable, or all that important rather, to ensuring a round 3 victory. The cards that you want to save for round 3 are going to be Evo of Belhaven. You want Ciri Dash in round 3, and you want Letho Kingslayer. If you can get these in any combination, you're probably going to be okay. Now, basically, the one that you want to copy the most is going to be Evo. In round 3, you have a lot of point roll against your opponent. Evo is going to be dealing 2 damage per turn, or 2 damage per Witcher that you play. So once you copy him with Kingslayer, you're going to be dealing 4 damage a turn for each Witcher that you play. And you got tons of Witchers here. They're going to come out as 6-point cards once you play Vesemir on the board, but you're going to be rolling. Now, there's a lot of cards that are going to be demanding, that are on your side, that are going to have row restrictions, or they're going to be very lockable, obviously. So row restricted cards like Eskel Pathfinder or Evo, these need to be on the melee row to get some value. So a lot of your units, if let's say you're playing against Scoia'tael, which has a lot of movement mechanics, a lot of your stuff is going to get pushed to the back. That's why you have Strays of Spalla. Now, the cool part about this deck is that Evo, as he grows and gains charges, and you're surgically hitting things that you're important with, even if he gets pushed to the back row, he can't fire his charges. However, he will still accumulate charges as they go. So when your opponent pushes him to the back row and thinks that Evo is now no longer a threat, he'll still accumulate charges. And I have had it once happen where my last play was with Strays of Spalla, move Evo to the front row. You move Evo to the front row, all his charges are now unlocked, and he can go ahead and machine gun and go fire like crazy. Now, the thing about this deck is that Ciri, you're going to be playing her, if your intention rather is to double up on Ciri with Letho Kingslayer, you want to make sure that Ciri goes down at the right time. Ciri needs to go down with like 6 cards left in your hand, with 7 cards left in your hand. You have 7 cards, including Ciri and Letho. Ciri goes down. Next turn, you Letho Kingslayer. That way, you're going to be drawing cards and drawing cards. Now, you're going to get the turns back with the cards that you draw. The cards you draw might not be all that fantastic, but they're still going to work out for you. I'm trying to double check on the math on that. If you have 6 left, you draw a card with Ciri, which unlocks an extra turn for your other Ciri. Regardless, with practice you'll get it. I apologize. I'm sorry. I should be clear on this. But basically, the targets for your Letho Kingslayer to double up on are going to be Evo, and or Ciri, whichever you think is more valuable. If you think that dealing damage is more valuable because you already have Last Say, then double up on your Evo. If you really need Last Say, like you're holding on to Geralt, for instance, and you really need Last Say, double up on your Ciri. Make sure you get those 2 cards. You can get some extra say on that. So that's the deck in its sort of purest form. Anna Henrietta and Damien de la Tour are pretty much self-explanatory. Play Damien de la Tour with like 5 or 4 cards left in your hand. By then, I'm sure all their locks and removal are probably spent for the most part because they've been locking and moving all of your nonsense. But in the same regard, Anna Henrietta, looking at your opponent's hand, not only gives you an extra card to play, but it gives you some very, very important information. What kind of deck is your opponent playing? What's his finisher? What's his whole gimmick? If you haven't figured it out yet, seeing your opponent's last 3 plays are spot on important. That way you know what to hold on to, you know what to worry about, you know how to react. That's the deck. We'll go through the cards one more time. 1 Knight Errant, 1 Magni Division, 2 Nausicaa Sergeants, 2 Recruits, 1 Alba Armored Cavalry, 2 Imperial Diviners, 1 Strays of Spalla, 2 Alba Pikemen, 1 Nilfgaardian Knight, 2 Viper Witchers, Ox, Letho of Gullet, Eskel Pathfinder, Evo of Belhaven, Serret, Ciri Dash, Geralt of Rivia, Vesemir, Letho Kingslayer, and Damien de la Tour. that is the deck, all under Anna Henrietta's 15 provision cap, and I hope that you have some fun with it. It's definitely great. When it pops off, it is a nightmare for your opponent, and they're going to be locking, unlocking, doing all kinds of nonsense while you're kind of laughing your way. Hope you enjoy this, and yeah, that is the deck. That is the Witcher Wonderland. So again, this deck was kind of spawned from an idea of trying my viewers' decks that they submit. And we've done Witchers before. We love Nilfgaard these days, and Anna Henrietta is a leader that I haven't done a deck guide for. So again, thanks to Klutz for giving the base for this, and my modifications to it are as such. Again, you can catch my stream at twitch.tv/watchflake, and if you have decks that you want to see or have me play or comment on or just mess around with or just have fun with and lose with, it doesn't matter. It's always fun. We do that every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So please, I do invite you, come on down. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of people coming in. We have some fun. It's good stuff. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you do enjoy the video, please hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing and does so much for me. Leave a comment. How do you think that this deck could work? What would counter it? What kind of changes would you make? Have you tried it, etc.? Thanks so much. Please check me out on Twitter as well, @WatchFlake. Be kind to one another. I will see you very soon. Adios.